1. This week on Life Is Leet, a short late-night episode where we talk about Pokémon, Warlords of Draenor, and the trailer for the final Rurouni Kenshin live-action film. This is Life Is Leet episode 28 for August 23, 2014. Hello everyone, welcome back to Life Is Leet. This is a podcast of nerds yelling at microphones about things. I am Jesse Hanna, and joining me today, as always over Skype, but this time from the frozen north of Flagstaff, is my co-host and younger brother Aaron. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty alright.
Alright, awesome.
I'm currently in what is considered as the Canada of Arizona.
Yes, it's Flagstaff is Arizona's cold country. Flagstaff, the northeastern part of the state. It gets cold up there. Not the entirety of Arizona is a freaking hellacious wasteland that
but most of
reaches
it is.
1,000,000 degrees. Well, yeah, most of it is. Flagstaff is pretty much the only exception. So you're up there. You've started. Well, you will be starting college in a couple of days officially once classes start.
Yeah.
So, how is it so far?
It's amusing to say the least.
Yeah, well, you're living in the dorms. Living in the dorms, you see some stuff.
Yes, it's amusing to see all the drunken idiots.
So things happen, some stuff.
Yes.
You see things. I wouldn't recommend it, but you're there. Bit late for that. So let's go ahead and move on with the usual. This is a thing that we always do. So we're gonna keep it going, and we're gonna get right into it once again, as always. We do whatever I'm talking about. Anyway, video games. That never gets old, no matter where you're listening to it from. All right, so I haven't had a whole lot of time to play very many games this week, but I did get into the Warlords of Draenor beta. I got an email earlier this week. I don't remember when exactly, but saying to check my Battle.net launcher, and lo and behold, under the World of Warcraft tab, under the thing that lets you select either the live or PTR, was a new entry, Warlords of Draenor beta. And so I downloaded and installed it, and I've played a grand total of maybe 5 minutes of it. But I did get to see the new undead male model that doesn't have the lower jaw, because I copied my undead rogue, over to the beta realms, and he's the model that doesn't have the lower jaw. And it's even more horrifying in new model form than it was before. Blizzard have outdone themselves.
Missing jaw.
Blizzard have outdone themselves with these new models, just going by that alone. It's impressive stuff. Now, I normally don't play a whole lot of the betas. I got into the Mists of Pandaria beta through the WoW annual pass that Blizzard did a while back. So I was in that, but I didn't play a whole lot because I like experiencing the story on the live servers with my actual characters that I get to keep the progression on, that it doesn't just all get wiped and reset. I like keeping that. So I normally don't play a whole lot in the betas, but it looks gorgeous, and I'm sure that I'm going to play the hell out of it once it launches in November.
Mm-hmm.
But that's pretty much been it for me. What about you this week, Aaron? Well, you've been pretty busy too.
Yeah. Well, I still find time for video games.
Of
somehow.
course.
But my game of interest this time has been Diablo 3, which I'm working on my Crusader again after dropping him for however long I did. Came across the most ridiculous Nephilim rift probably anyone has ever come across with today. Like, in the entire first floor, I'm not kidding you, almost every single group of enemies was either right next to blue or gold enemies.
Oh boy.
Yeah. It was kind of insane. And I got to the Nephilim Rift Guardian before I even cleared the floor. But at that point, I was just like, nope.
It's just like, yeah, nope. Let's
I
get
can't
out of
take
here.
This is too ridiculous for me.
Yeah. Oh man,
I died a lot.
yeah, I've got to get my Demon Hunter up to 70. It's a mark of shame that I still haven't done that yet. I've also been kind of meaning to pick up the Ultimate Evil Edition for my PS3 because I really like the just sit down on the couch, uh, casual feel to it, and also the controller works really well with Diablo 3. So I have been meaning to play that a little bit again on my PS3 as well, but I miss my Demon Hunter. I wanna get him up to 70 so that I can get into some of that.
Mm.
Anyway, let's move on now to the news. Not a whole lot. A few bits of Pokemon news and then a couple of Muramasa Rebirth DLC news tidbits, release dates. So let's start off with something that was kind of teased by the Pokemon Company. They are going to be announcing what they called a shocking new project on a Nico Nico live stream this coming week on, I believe that's Tuesday, the 26th, that they're going to be announcing this. And that's really all they've said about it. There have been some leaks, and I haven't been able to find where I heard about them, but there have been some leaks and rumors going about that it's going to be kind of a mystery solving game, kind of along the lines of Professor Layton, if you've heard of those games on, I think they're on iOS, and I think they're also on 3DS. And the Phoenix Wright games, of course. I think what I read is that it's supposed to be something along those lines, but centered on, or with the main character as Pikachu. So I kind of like the Mystery Dungeon games, except with more maybe a detective focus. Again, that's just a rumor. I can't find the sources that for that or where I even saw it. But that's just what I've heard, and they're calling it a shocking new project. I don't think they would be doing that if Pikachu wasn't involved somehow.
One particular thing that I've heard on and off around the internet is that it's supposed to be a Pokemon fighting game spin-off. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
Because they have a trademark for a game called Pokken Fighters, I believe it's called, which, gee, I wonder what that's a reference to.
Well, yeah.
But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we will see.
It's only in like 3 more days.
I mean, they've done Pokemon like
They've pretty much done
Rumble,
almost everything. They've done like beat 'em ups,
yeah,
roguelikes,
they've done arena brawler
strategy
games. Yeah,
They've
so
done a lot of different stuff.
yeah, so it will be interesting to see what that announcement is. They're going to be announcing it on a live stream on the Nico Nico Doga video streaming site. It's going to be in Japanese. The Pokemon Company president and CEO will be a guest. That's Tsunekazu Ishihara. He will be a guest there. A couple of voice actors from the Pokemon anime will be there, I believe. So they're gonna have a lot of guests, and they're kind of hyping this, obviously mostly in Japan. But it will be interesting to see what that announcement actually is.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that has been announced for a while now and is coming up in a few months' time, Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, we found out that the official strategy guide will be coming out on the same day as the games. It's November 21st. It's available for pre-order from Amazon. We will have a link to that in our show notes. And it's pretty much going to have the standard strategy guide fare. It'll have a walkthrough of the gym badges. It'll have guides for all the new features and for all of the online play modes. It'll have a Pokédex and item location index and the usual stuff where you can see what Pokemon are in which and it'll have a pull out map. So it's really your standard strategy guide. It's just that we now officially have a release date and a link for it. So I'll probably be pre-ordering that from Amazon. So we'll have a link to that in the show notes if you want to check that out. And something that has kind of confirmed but not officially announced. So we've got a announcement of an announcement. We've got something that's already been announced, and now we've got something that's confirmed but not officially announced, is that the Pokemon trading card game online will be coming to the iPad. It was confirmed at Well, there was originally a photo leaked that appeared to show the Pokemon TCG Online running on an iPad. And then at last weekend's World Championships, it was confirmed that Nintendo is preparing it for release on the iPad. And it's basically a tablet and iPad port of the game that is currently available for PC and Mac. And they don't have a timeline for when it'll be released or anything like that. Again, it hasn't really been officially announced. It's just been confirmed that they're working on it. So that's really all that we know about it. We don't know yet if it'll be like the same deal as Hearthstone, where it's playable online and cross-platform.
It probably would be.
It probably
makes sense for it.
After Hearthstone, I don't think any digital TCG that releases on multiple platforms possibly could get away with not being able to play against other people across platforms.
It wouldn't surprise me if the development team was taking notes from Hearthstone for this.
Oh, certainly. Everyone who builds that kind of game nowadays is going to be taking notes from Blizzard and from Hearthstone because it's been such a massive runaway success.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I do kind of hope that they would add to the online TCG, though, is the ability to buy booster packs or theme decks in-game with real money, not just with the tokens that you can earn in-game, or not just with a QR card. Do I have one of those around? I've ended up getting a lot of Pokemon cards lately, but I don't have handy. But in every booster pack and every theme deck of the physical Pokemon TCG, you get a little card that has a QR code on it and an actual text code, and you can scan or enter that into the online TCG, and it'll give you either a booster pack from that same expansion, or it'll give you that exact theme deck in the online game. That's cool, but it would also be nice to be able to, and you can also buy smaller, like 5-card booster packs instead of the usual 10 that you can buy in stores, and theme decks with tokens that you can earn in game. But it would be nice to be able to buy those just within the online TCG. So just a thought. And if they're working on it for iPad, then I can definitely foresee them doing that with in-app purchases. So we'll have to wait and see. But I love Hearthstone so much, and it works so well on the iPad that I am kind of looking forward to when they at least officially announce that.
But games work well on tablets in general.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm definitely.
It's almost like the device was built for them or something.
I know, right? Clearly, it's exactly what Apple had in mind when they came out with the iPad. They knew that Blizzard was going to make Hearthstone. They're psychic like that, I guess, or something. I don't know. Anyway, finally, the last Muramasa Rebirth DLC chapter has both Japanese and North American and European release dates. It is going to be coming out in Japan on August 28 and in North America and the EU on September 2 and 3 respectively. And it's going to cost the same as all the other DLC chapters, which if you're in the United States is going to be $4.99. And the title is Hell is Where the Heart Is.
That's a name.
The story for it is that a playboy ex-monk named Seikichi proposes to the daughter of the Lord of Hell, whose name is Rajaki. And Rajaki proceeds to kidnap Seikichi and takes him with as she tries to find the treasures of the 7 gods of fortune, which, oh, by the way, she misplaced and now has to find them. And you play as Rajaki in 3 different forms, as an axe-wielding child, a club-wielding woman, and full-blown demon form. And if you complete that and you've completed the previous 3 DLC chapters, there will be a special quote unquote special gift for you from Vanillaware on the main menu of the game. If you complete all 3 of the all 4, of the, they're called the Genroku Legends DLC chapters for Muramasa Rebirth. I hearing about these makes me want to go back and play that game. I love that game for my Vita. It's one of my favorite games for the Vita. So I think I'll pick that up again pick up the last 2 DLC chapters. I have the first 2, but I need to get the last 2, pick those up, and get those completed, because that game is a lot of fun. And if you've been considering or if you have a Vita and don't have Muramasa Rebirth, I definitely recommend it. And if you're considering getting a Vita, I wouldn't say that Muramasa Rebirth is reason enough in itself to get one, but if you do end up getting one, Muramasa Rebirth is definitely a game to check out for it.
In fact, you should definitely check out Vanillaware's other games, because they're all pretty dang pretty looking.
Oh yeah, and
like Dragon's Crown.
I think Dragon's Crown is free on PlayStation Plus right now. So if you're a PlayStation Plus member, no excuse not to go get that. I think I downloaded that to, I think, both my Vita and PS3, because I think it's free for both platforms, and of course it's got crossplay available, and I think it also has cross-platform multiplayer. So yeah, definitely go check that out. And that's going to wrap it up for video games, so let's move on now to anime. And I've still got to capture some sort of sound from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure for that.
You need to.
For that bumper, yeah.
You need to.
Well, I haven't watched a whole lot lately. Again, still just keeping up with Sailor Moon Crystal, keeping up with the Sailor Moon re-release on Hulu. But I also have been getting back into it's been a couple weeks since I'd watched any of it, but I've still been working on Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann, and that show is great. I think I've talked about before how it's by Gainax and how there are definitely very fooly-cooly visual and humor elements to it.
And it's definitely an action anime.
Oh yes. And
almost quintessential.
Getting further into the series, it's almost a perfect hybrid between Fooly Cooly and Evangelion, probably the 2 other series that Gainax is best known for. It's almost a perfect hybrid of those 2, because you have the insane phases and physical impossibilities of Fooly Cooly combined with some of the psychological thriller drama stuff and of course the giant robots of Evangelion. Well, and I mean, Fooly Cooly has giant robots in it too, but they're not the main characters. They're not the main drive of the thing. So it is a pretty good combination of those 2, and it is still a great series. I'm about 8 or 9 episodes in. I'm definitely going to be finishing that one off. But that's really all that I've been watching lately. Aaron, sounds like you've just been watching the usual as well.
Yep.
Just more JoJo's.
More JoJo's.
Nothing wrong with that. I've still got to keep working my way through that as well.
Yeah.
And we've really only got one item of anime news this week, but it is a pretty cool one. We have the trailer now for the final Rurouni Kenshin film, Rurouni Kenshin: The Legend Ends. And in it, you've got Kenshin fighting Shishio, you've got Kenshin fighting Aoshi, you've got Kenshin fighting Sojiro, you've got Kenshin fighting Hiko. It's all kinds of awesome. It's more of the same sort of awesome that you get from all the other trailers. We'll have a link to it in the show notes for you to check it out. And that movie is going to be coming out on September 13th in Japan. And please, Warner Brothers, bring it to the United States. You will get all the money if you do that.
They'll certainly make a lot of money off of it.
Oh, yeah. I know so many people that would definitely watch it and buy absolutely everything to do with it if they were to bring it over here. And it would be a mistake not to, really. At some point, in some form. I don't particularly care how. All I know is that I want it. And that's, like I said, that's really the only item of anime news this week. So we are going to go ahead and close things out now with
one more thing.
And the one more thing this week has to be both seen and heard. So we're gonna play a little bit of this here for you. We'll have a link to it in the show notes, so you can check it out there. But if you're not watching this on YouTube or on the live stream, you have to go watch this. So we're gonna play a bit of this here first, and then we'll talk about it.
as my sample is an example. Yado in a leggy style. Pokemon. Yado, come in.
야, 도나이야넨 야동. 야,どないやねんやどん朝日と一緒に起きた夢見て昼まで寝ているやどんピンクのお肌は茹ですぎじゃないもともとなんだなやどんでっかいお口はコンビニみたいいつでも開いてる
Alright, I think you've pretty much got the idea of it from that. It's a reggae slow jam about slowpoke in Japanese.
And you think that reggae in Japanese it's not a thing, but apparently it is now.
It works surprisingly well. I hadn't really thought of it, but it works. It works, and
somehow.
It's just incredibly strange. I've got a couple of quotes here. It's in Japanese, obviously, but I have a couple of quotes here translated from the lyrics. And the name of it is Donna Yanen Yadon, which is how you're a slowpoke after all. And Yadon is Slowpoke's Japanese name, yes. But a couple of translations of some of the lines from this song is... One of them is, your big mouth is always open like a convenience store. And another one is it something to be proud of that you move so slowly that you never blur photos? And yeah, again, we'll have a link to this in the show notes. And it's just as ridiculous as it sounds and as it looks. And it just has to be seen to be believed. So we'll have a link to that in the show notes, which you can find a link to that, as well as a link to download the MP3 of this and all of our other episodes, links to our Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus pages, our RSS feed, and iTunes where you can subscribe to this podcast. All of that you can find at our website, which is lifeisleet.com. If you want to find and like us on Facebook directly, we're at fb.me/lifeisleet. On Twitter, we're at lifeisleet. On Google Plus, we're at +lifeisleet podcast. And again, our website is lifeisleet.com. That's lifeisleet.com. And you can also go there to watch our live stream, which is usually on Saturday afternoons. It's Saturday evening this time because it was a busy, crazy day. But we'll announce on our Facebook and Twitter pages when we will be streaming the live recording of episodes. But whenever it is, it will be at lifeisleet.com/live. And we'll have the video embedded there, and there's a chat room there for you to hang out in. Again, that's all at lifeisleet.com. You can find everything, all of the above, from there. My name is Jesse, and I write this thing, so if anything in it is wrong, blame me. All the stuff that I do is at jbhanna.net or on Twitter at jbhanna, or when I stream, it's at twitch.tv/jbhanna. Aaron, when he streams things, is at twitch.tv/plato0. That's PLATO and the number 0. And whenever either of us streams something, we'll post about it on our Facebook or Twitter page, on the Facebook or Twitter page for the podcast, so you can find out about it there. If you have any feedback, comments, recommendations, suggestions, audio attachments that you want to send to us, you can send all of those to podcast@lifeisleet.com. That is going to do it for this week's episode. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching, listening. For me, for Aaron, everyone within the sound of my voice, until next week, take care.
Slow.